settled here so we can get you on your way. It's a busy day. You know, Majority Leader Stan Boyer was in town on behalf of Congresswoman Mary Jo Kilroy. They're finishing up an event as well, so it's a busy day. Everybody ready? Appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to stop by and say hello. Everyone met Seth Freeman, who is our new communication director as well. Seth will give you all the contact information whenever you like. And it's going to go through the course of the next couple, 3 weeks, sitting down with each of you, getting to know you and offering whatever services that you may need from the party through Seth and his staff, so that you know how to contact him as well. Seth is from Woodville, Ohio, which is up in northern Ohio in Sandusky County. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today to discuss John Kasich's record and his pending announcement of his candidacy for governor of the state of Ohio. After serving in the United States Congress for nearly 2 decades and voting against Ohio families while a member of the Congress, John Kasich joined the Wall Street firm Lehman Brothers as its managing director in 2001. He occupied a posh corner office in New York City. Kasich formed a close relationship with Lehman Brothers chairman and CEO Richard Poole, who gave him his job at the firm at the time. Kasich called Poole, quote, really smart and a great guy and a tremendous leader. The Time magazine named Poole one of the 25 people to blame for our current economic crisis. Lehman Brothers collapsed in 2008 in what was then the biggest bankruptcy in American history. Lehman's collapse was a result of greedy business decisions that hurt American families then and continue now. The result was devastating, a domino effect that has affected and created our economic crisis. Even after the collapse of his firm, as some 20,000 Lehman employees lost their jobs, John Kasich kept his. Kasich refuses to answer questions about his time at Lehman Brothers, his specific responsibilities, or the salary that he earned while at the firm. Estimates put that salary, without bonuses, at more than $1 million per year. While still at Lehman Brothers, Kasich began paving the way for a gubernatorial run. Now he is traveling the state saying that Ohio should be run like a business. Ohio should not be run like Lehman Brothers. Ohio doesn't need a governor from Wall Street. Ohio needs a governor who will fight every day for our families on Main Street. While John Kasich was working with the greedy and powerful interests at Lehman Brothers, Governor Strickland was working hard for the people of our great state. Even in these difficult, tough, challenging economic times, our governor has expanded health care for Ohio's children, the weakest among us, reduced property taxes, frozen college tuition, and proposed vital reforms to our education system. In the race for governor, Ohioans have a choice between someone who is a managing director at a Wall Street investment firm, whose collapse led to our economic crisis, and someone who has worked to turn our economy around, create jobs, and invest in the future. Those choices will be stark and repeatedly contrasted. We're confident that when voters learn about John Kasich's record of siding with the greedy and the powerful, they will send Ted Strickland back to work in the governor's office after the November election of next year. Thank you. I'm going to now, subscribers will get a chance to receive monthly updates, important articles, reflect on quotes that John Kasich has made and will continue to make through the course of the campaign. The second part of the presentation included that website as well as the web app that we're going to be providing across the state through ohiodems.org. You can also visit this website directly to learn more about John Kasich's record at thetruthaboutkasich.com. I welcome any questions that you may have.
Do you see Kasich as the chief opponent or the only opponent?
Well, I think in terms of the primary,
yeah.
Kasich, I know that Kevin Coughlin is seeking the governor's seat as well, and has at least in local media accounts has indicated that Ohio and Ohioans don't need the likes of John Kasich, whether it's in a primary contest against Kevin Coughlin or the general election. Kevin has repeatedly pointed out that a break from the past is what the Republican Party is in need of. I'm not in the business of offering advice to Kevin DeWine, but I certainly would embrace the suggestions that Kevin Coughlin has made regarding John Kasich and his history as a member of Congress, his its history at Lehman Brothers, is lack of consistency and transparency regarding voting.
Do you see John Kasich as a formidable opponent, though, to Ted Strickland, based on this ad that you have out on the web and what we just saw today, and coming out this early even before his news conference?
We know that any candidate that the Republican Party puts forward after the primary will be a serious candidate. They have the abilities to raise millions of dollars of special interest money coming out of, in this case, this Wall Street interests and investment firms that were related or are related to the likes of Richard Gould and those formerly employed with Lehman Brothers. Don't take my word for it. If you just look at the article, the New York Observer article that's been widely distributed, John Kasich is quoted as saying that there are many at Lehman Brothers at the time that he was employed with Lehman Brothers who had encouraged him to run for president at the time, or who would certainly be supportive of his options in the future vis-a-vis elected office. We understand that those who benefit from the greed of Lehman Brothers would be more than happy to support the likes of John Kasich. It's our job as Democrats, and my job as leader of the Democratic Party, to get out and continue to put our message forth. The differences between John Kasich and Ted Strickland are many and are vast. If you look at Ted Strickland, he spent the last several years as governor and as a candidate talking about why we need to invest in higher education and in education. Rather than just leave those words on the table, he offered tuition freezes at every public institution in this state. Rather than just leave those words on the table, the governor pushed forth and received property tax reductions for seniors across the state, as well as those with special needs. The governor expanded health care opportunities for the weakest among us, children, all without a tax increase. He did the kinds of things Ohioans elected him to do in 2006, and during this campaign, through the process of electing their nominee, we'll continue to contrast ours with theirs.
How persuasive is the argument going to be that we don't need the state income tax? There are going to be people who are going to think it's a great idea.
There are 36, I think 36, correct me if I'm wrong, 36 public institutions in the state, whether 2- or 4-year institutions, where kids from Zanesville or Columbus or Sandusky go every year. Those institutions are supported by different funding streams, primarily the income tax is one of those streams. So if you have a child who's a freshman or a sophomore at Ohio State, and you know that there's a politician out there who'd like to do away with the income tax, that may sound good at first, but then you eliminate the chance for that child to go to a publicly supported institution. You eliminate tuition freezes at 2- and 4-year institutions. You eliminate health care opportunities for young people. You take away property tax cuts for seniors. If you were to remove 40% of the state's appropriations, just simply remove it for no other reason but to run for office, you're doing something reckless in the short term and certainly in the long term. And as we've seen during this process, every dollar that's collected, we need to ensure that we invest those dollars in areas that matter most. The governor has done just that without a tax increase, and we continue to do that through the course of this campaign and over the course of the next year and a half as governor.